I never thought my hometown could be scary. It's a quiet beach town, crowded in the summer. But after Labor Day, it becomes a ghost town. The restaurants close, the tourists vanish, and only the locals remain. The boardwalk, once full of life, turns into a skeleton of its former self-empty shops, silent streets, and nothing but the sound of waves crashing against the shore. I was 15, about to start my sophomore year, when it happened. Our house sat on Surf Avenue, just a block from the beach. I loved the off-season. It felt like the whole world belonged to just a few of us. But that year, something was different. There was an old house at the end of my street. A 2-story beach house, pale blue with chipped paint and boarded-up windows. It had been empty for years. No renters, no visitors. People said the owners abandoned it decades ago. I never paid much attention to it until I saw a light in the upstairs window. At first, I thought it was my imagination, a reflection from a passing car. But then the light moved. It flickered like someone was walking past a lamp. I told my best friend, Jake, about it the next day. He shrugged it off, but I could see the curiosity in his eyes. We dared each other to check it out. That night, just before midnight, we crept down the street. The house was dark again, but as we got closer, I noticed something. Footprints. A trail of footprints in the sand led from the street up to the front door. But something was off. The prints weren't deep, like someone had just walked there. They looked faded, as if they had been there for a long time, but never washed away by the tide. Then we heard it. A slow, deliberate creaking. Footsteps from the second floor. Jake and I froze. Maybe it's an animal, he whispered. I swallowed hard. Or maybe someone's living here. Jake smirked. Only one way to find out. Before I could stop him, he climbed onto the porch. The wooden steps groaned under his weight. He grabbed the doorknob, unlocked. The door swung open with a long, drawn-out creak. Inside, the air was stale, thick with the scent of salt and rot. The moonlight cast long shadows across the dust-covered floor. The place looked untouched, like no one had been inside for years. Furniture covered in sheets, old photographs on the walls, everything frozen in time. Then, another creak from upstairs. Jake looked at me. Still think it's an animal? I shook my head. My heart pounded as we climbed the staircase. Each step groaned beneath us. When we reached the top, we saw a long hallway with 3 doors, one slightly open, a faint light flickering inside. Jake reached out and nudged the door open. A bedroom. The bed was made, the walls covered in old paintings of ships and ocean storms. But what caught my eye was the lamp on the nightstand glowing, even though it wasn't plugged in. Then, the closet door creaked open. Jake grabbed my arm. We stared as the door swung wide, revealing nothing but darkness. And then we heard breathing. Slow, shallow, coming from inside the closet. I stepped back, my foot hitting something. I looked down. A pair of shoes. But they weren't ours. They were old, covered in sand, like they had been there for decades. A whisper echoed from the closet. Why did you come back? The lamp flickered and went out. The room plunged into darkness. We ran down the stairs, out the door, all the way to my house. We didn't stop until we were inside, doors locked, lights on. The next morning, I went back. The footprints in the sand were gone. The house looked just as abandoned as before. No light, no movement. Jake and I never spoke about that night again. But sometimes, on quiet autumn evenings, I swear I see a light in that window. And I wonder, who or what is waiting inside?